But I also feel like the show might make her a traitor because, oh my God, look, Travis Kelce's mom and Taylor Swift's possible future mother-in-law is a traitor. Ha ha ha, come watch our show. It's going to irritate me a lot if Donna is a traitor. What up, everybody? Yeah, the Traitors USA Season 4 begins Thursday night with more than one episode. I believe they do the whole 3-episode premiere, which is tough for me to review, but we'll discuss that later. Let's actually discuss the cast now. You know, at the end of last week, I did my little ranking of the cast photos just for shits and giggles, but now we got to get serious. Get really, really serious. And analyze some of these players for this new season of The Traitors. Now, I just pulled up a list from Entertainment Weekly, so I hope that this is the full list. And I'm just going to go in alphabetical order, which they seem to have it, which means we are starting with my girl Candiace from The Real Housewives of Potomac. One of the people on the cast I am looking forward to most because I know Candiace can be good TV, and I do feel as though The Traitors is leaning more into good dramatic television than gameplay, judging by last season anyway. Really the last 2 seasons. Season 1 had good gameplay in parts, mostly Suri, but since then it's been getting a little worse and worse, but I don't hate that, you know. The Traitors is a show that is kind of built for good TV and drama with the whole round table scenario. And that's where I want to see Candiace shine, because Candiace doesn't really take shit. If you're gonna come for Candiace, she's gonna come back for you tenfold with her mouth. And that's what I love about her. Also, anyone that's watched my channel for a while now, Sagittarius women are usually people on reality shows and kind of in real life too that I just jive with very well, and they make for good TV because they don't give a shit. They will say whatever and cut you up, and that is just something that I like. So Candiace is going to be good TV. I'm pretty certain of that. She does have one flaw that does annoy me with her, is that she cries too much, and it's not something I love in my reality competition shows. The moment I see Candiace with her little napkin trying to dab her tears so it doesn't mess up her makeup is gonna piss me off, probably. That is definitely something about Candiace that I don't like. She gets highly emotional, and I think that is part of her angry Sagittarius trait that she does have. So we'll see how much she cries, because she cried a whole lot on The Real Housewives of Potomac. But outside of that, that is her one flaw. Everything else about her is I love. So I do think I will like Candiace. Now, her as a player is interesting because I really don't know what to expect. I don't see them making her a traitor, even though I think she would probably be an entertaining one. I don't know if necessarily a strategic one, but I can see her causing drama with other traitors if they're not getting along. As a faithful, though, I think she could do well. Now, I don't know how good she will be at guessing the traitors, but I do know that she will not be afraid to speak her mind at the round tables, most likely, and she will not back down if people are coming for her at the round table. So I do think her as a faithful is actually probably better TV for us, so I'm hoping she's a faithful and she gets into some spats at a round table. But as a player, I don't know really what to expect. Never seen her play a game. We're going to find out anyway. Let me stop gushing about Candiace and move on to Caroline Stanbury from The Real Housewives of Dubai. I know nothing about her. I've never seen The Real Housewives of Dubai. The last time we had someone from The Housewives of Dubai on this show, they didn't understand the game whatsoever. I do think Caroline will understand it more, and I do think Caroline will have beef with Travis Kelce's mother, so I'm looking forward to that. Because the only thing I heard from her preseason was her talking shit about Donna Kelce, and that means I'm going to like Caroline then. Because I'm rooting against Donna. I really, really hope they don't make Donna a traitor, but I have a feeling they might. Let's hope not. Either way, Caroline's talking a big game preseason that she's not afraid to go after Donna Kelce, because even if Donna Kelce has Taylor Swift's fans and her son's fans who have this big podcast coming after her, it's what I like to hear. Nobody should be giving Donna Kelce this preferential treatment because she's Travis Kelce's mom. Like, get the fuck out of here. So I think I will like Caroline, and it seems like she's going to be a bold player. At least she's talking a big game preseason from what I've heard in an interview. So I'm looking forward to her. And judging by her interview, I think she's probably a faithful too. She did not give traitor if she is talking about being this bold player. That doesn't really strike me as a traitor, because you kind of have to be in the back. I mean, you can be bold, you can be Bob the Drag Queen, but that doesn't typically work out. Colton Underwood from The Bachelor, another person I know nothing about. Frankly, don't have a lot to say about him either. But I will say this, the last two people we had from The Bachelor and The Bachelorette series, I don't remember the guy's name in season 2, but he turned out to be a big gamer playing hard. And then last season, Gabby was one of the only smart faithful the entire season. So if that trend continues, then Colton might actually be good at the game, because there is this trend that has formed on the Traitors that people are coming over from The Bachelor and actually playing hard and sometimes playing good. So let's hope Colton continues that trend. Donna Kelce is next. I hate this casting. I hate this nepotism casting. Ooh, you gave birth to two sons that play in the NFL, and ooh, you had to watch them both play each other at the Super Bowl. Spare me. And then we have the damn Taylor Swift connection, and judging by some pregame interviews, I feel like people are going to be afraid to go after her because they think she's going to be so beloved from Swifties and Travis Kelce fans. So I expect Donna to actually last quite a while if she is a faithful for that reason. But I also feel like the show might make her a traitor because, oh my God, look, Travis Kelce's mom and Taylor Swift's possible future mother-in-law is a traitor. Ha ha ha, come watch our show. It's going to irritate me a lot if Donna is a traitor. I want to come into this season with an open mind for Donna, and I'm going to try my best. But if she is a traitor, she better be entertaining. She better not be anything like Carolyn last season and be afraid to play the damn game, because nothing will set me off faster, and I already don't want to watch her. So that's my only hope. I hope she is a faithful. I think she will be easier to swallow as a faithful, but we'll see, I suppose. Dorinda is next from The Real Housewives of New York City. She was also on last season, but she was like the first boot, or at least the first one killed, I think. The Housewives last season were duds. And it's part of the reason why I feel like season 3 is like my least favorite season of the first 3. Phaedra made season 2 for me. I will say this, though. Of the Housewives last season, Dorinda was the only one, trying to bring it. She annoyed me at the reunion, still being upset about things that being killed and things that Bob said about her. And it's like, it's a game, folks. It's a game. And some of these housewives just don't understand the game. But as we saw last season, as a housewife, you might not be able to understand the game. You might vote wrong every single time and still win the game because the traitors play so poorly. So not understanding the game really doesn't matter on this show, I fear. At least not when the traitors suck and are going after each other way too soon. I'm hoping they don't make her a traitor, but I could see them doing that. That would probably surprise me, though, because they brought Kate back and they didn't make her a traitor, although she then did eventually become a traitor. So I'm open to Dorinda. I feel like she can be entertaining from the little we saw from her last season, but as a player, I don't really have any hope for her. Up next is Eric, who is a singer-songwriter. Literally know nothing about this guy. So I can only hope that he is either a really good player that surprises us or really messy and good TV. Those are the only things I can hope from when this show just brings on random cast members like I feel Eric is, and there's a few others. So I literally have nothing to go off of with this guy. Ian Terry is a former Big Brother winner. Not that that has mattered in the past with the way Dan came in and played as a traitor and totally shit the bed. Ian beat Dan in a game once, though, so maybe he can do better than Dan again. If they make a Big Brother player a traitor, I don't see it being Ian. I see it being the other Big Brother player on this season. So I think Ian is going to have to play as a faithful, and I think Ian could be a big target because he is a past winner of a show. So he needs to play really smart and better than he did in Small Stars season 23, 22 of Big Brother. And I can see if Ian survives early game when he could be a potential big target, Ian could go far as a faithful and do really well. Ian is smart. He is good at adapting in the game too. He's good at seeing the board, which is always a big deal, but he has to survive the early game, and I don't see him being a traitor, so that could be hard for him. Because not only does he have to survive round tables where he could have a target on his back, but he has to not be killed by the traitors too. So we'll see. I expect him to be a faithful, but maybe they'll surprise me and make him a traitor, which I wouldn't hate, honestly. Johnny Weir is an Olympic figure skater. Always Johns in the comments let me know that he and Tara are commentators on figure skating. I watch a lot of sports. Can't say that ice skating, figure skating is one of them. So I would have never known that. So thank you for the information, Always Johns. So I think Johnny and Tara coming in with a pregame alliance is important. More important if one of them ends up being a traitor and the other not. Can they use that connection to get further in the game? That's always possible. If one of them are going to be a traitor, I kind of hope it's Johnny. He seems like someone that could give us camp, which is what Danielle Reyes gave us last season. So if he's a traitor, he might be more entertaining than I would expect him to be. But if he's a faithful, he could just be someone that falls into the background, which happens a lot for the faithful. But that's not always a bad thing. It sometimes makes you go further in the game. I guess the thing to watch is his connection and his possible alliance with Tara. Kristen is next from Top Chef. I know very little about Kristen, but the very little I know about her makes me look forward to her. I feel like she is someone who would be a good traitor if she wants to be. I only read some of the pregame people talking about if they wanted to be a traitor or not. I don't remember if I read hers or not, so I don't know if she actually wants to be a traitor. But if she does, I think she could actually be a good one as a faithful. I don't know if she has like connections like some of these other people do. There's at least a lot of housewives all the time that all know each other. People from Survivor and Big Brother all know each other. 2 people from Love Island universe that know each other this season. She might be the odd one out of not really, well, there's a few people that might be the odd one out, but she might be one of those people that are the odd one out. But that doesn't always work against people. We see the British random people from the last 2 seasons come into the game. Nobody knows them, and they last long because of that. It could happen to her. Lisa Rinna from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and from Days of Our Lives back in the day. Lisa is someone I expect to not play well. I feel like Lisa is going to be one of those housewives that either do too much or do too little. I also don't see her being a traitor, but I guess it is possible. I don't know. I see her to be one of those housewives faithful that really has no idea what's going on. That's kind of what I see for Lisa this season. I kind of hope she proves me wrong, though. In some of the pregame stuff I saw from her, she didn't really have a strategy, so I feel like she is kind of has the possibility of being all over the place. Mark Ballas is next from Dancing with the Stars, another show I don't watch. Don't know what to expect from him. You know, I liked his cast photo. He was in my top 3. So I hope that's a good sign. But outside of that, no idea what to expect. Would be shocked if they make him a traitor. I see him being a faithful, most likely. I do wonder if they're going to try and make a random be a traitor this season, because the last season they had all these traitors with huge personalities and personalities that would easily clash, and they did in fact clash. But I also feel like the show knows that the traitors have to at least have big personalities because they get a lot of screen time. But I also feel like at least putting one traitor, and this is kind of what I did on this season that I hosted on this channel, is putting one traitor that is a little more quiet than the rest, and it really kind of throws people off. I don't know necessarily if Mark will be quiet. I did notice in the preview, that little preview they posted of the first few minutes of the season, people know Mark because they've been on Dancing with the Stars before. I specifically remember Lisa talking to him. So if some of these other stars have been on Dancing with the Stars, they're going to know Mark, and he's going to have more connections than I expect him to have. And I think that's going to work out for him as a faithful. I think he's going to be someone people trust. That's my prediction. Maura Higgins from Love Island UK, a big Love Island star. She hosts after shows for Love Island, including the US. I can see her being a good faithful. I can see her being a good traitor. She has a personality that people tend to love, and that's good for a social game, which would really help her as a traitor. Love Island has become big for Peacock. It's become super fucking toxic, as I've been talking about in videos about it. Still, 6 months later, the fandom is very fucking toxic, at least in the US especially, which she's from the UK. But I can see Peacock wanting to make either her or Rob a traitor. That would not surprise me in the least. I think Mara could be good either way. I think her personality might get her in trouble as a faithful, because I can see her not only getting along with a lot of people, but wanting to play the game and figure things out, which could put a target on her back. The traitors always don't get out the people they need to get out, though. Like, if someone is popular with the rest of the faithful, that should be like your main target. The people that everyone expects to be a faithful and are a faithful, the traitors usually leave them around way too long. Mara could be that person for the faithful if she is a faithful. Michael Rapaport is next. A lot of people do not like this guy. He can be quite irritating. He can be quite annoying. There's been times I've seen him in interviews talking shit about people, and he entertains me. There's been times he goes too far talking shit about people. That could make for good TV, though. If Michael can get into some arguments, then he will make his casting worth it, whether he is annoying or not. If he's a traitor, though, the traitors are going to be a mess again like last season. I think he's going to grate people. He's going to grate his fellow traitors if he is a traitor. That's the way I see it. So that is my prediction, that if he is a traitor, he and the fellow traitors are going to clash, and it's going to be his fault most likely. If he's a faithful, I have no idea what to expect of him. He might get on people's nerves soon, like very early, and get voted out early at a round table because of that. He has a big personality. He likes to speak his mind. So if people are listening to him, then he's going to go far. But if people aren't listening to him and he's getting on their nerves, he's going to be an early boot. Monet X Change from RuPaul's Drag Race and best BFFs with Bob the Drag Queen. They're quite different, though, because Bob is all about being in your face. And I feel like Monet, from having seen their podcast from time to time, is far more subtle in what Monet can do. Bob was great TV. Was he a good traitor? Not really. He was too loud, too aggressive for someone that already has a big personality and already has a big target. And he clashed with his fellow traitor Rob too early. Monet's not going to do that. Monet is messy too. This is the thing about Monet. This is the way I see Monet, is that Bob's a messy mess. Monet is also messy, but she is, I think, smarter about the way she goes about her messiness. So I don't see them making Monet a traitor at all, especially after Bob last season. I see Monet being a faithful. I don't know if that works out for Monet. I think it can, though. I think Monet, she was like Miss Congeniality on her first season of Drag Race. People get along with Monet. She's easy to get along with. I think that could very well work in Monet's favor as a player, as a faithful this season. Natalie Anderson is great. She's one of my favorite Survivor winners of all time. She won her first season and won it dominantly and entertainingly. Like, that is all I could ask for in a Survivor season, is your winner not only be a great winner, but do it in style. And that's what Natalie did. Natalie can also be typecast as a comp beast, though. And you don't really have to be a comp beast on this show because the competitions really don't matter. I always feel like they make the competitions dramatic. People, they're always going to get money at the end. That's the way I see it. Natalie is going to be similar to Ian for me in that I don't see them making her a traitor, so she's going to be a target early in the season. So much like Ian, she has to survive early in the season, and then maybe she can get into a role as a faithful where she brings the strategy. But will she make it out at the beginning of the season? We'll see. Porsha is next. Porsha from the Real Housewives of Atlanta is an interesting casting choice because Porsha is very slow. Porsha is not going to be a strategist whatsoever, but Porsha is very, very likable. Unless she's being messy and feuding with you, then she could be annoying and allegedly be a liar. Although with her fellow housewife's divorce going on, some of the things she might have said about their marriage once upon a time might not have been a lie. But anyway, I digress for anybody that watches The Housewives of Atlanta. Porsha is a fun time, and I think people will like being in the game with Porsha. Whether she's a faithful or a traitor, that's the way it's going to go. People are going to get along with her, but she's not going to be good at strategy. So if she is a faithful, I think she's going to probably be like the woman from New Jersey last season, from the Real Housewives of New Jersey, whose name I don't know because I've never really watched it. She's going to play dumb like her, but possibly still win the game like her. If Porsha is a traitor, I think Porsha could be an underrated, under-the-radar traitor because I just don't think people would expect it. I think she wouldn't even be playing dumb sometimes. I think she would just actually be being dumb, and that could work in her favor with the other faithful. Now, I told my girlfriend this, and she said that Porsha would make a terrible traitor because Porsha always has slips of the tongue. And that's true too. I could see Porsha being a traitor and saying too much or saying something she shouldn't and get caught easily. So her brain might get her in trouble, but Porsha's a good time. Rob Cesternino from Survivor, obviously also from Rob, has a podcast. I think he's going to come in as a strategist. He was a big strategist in the heyday of Survivor. He seems to be coming in wanting to work with Tiffany, and I think that could be a good combination. If they are traitors together, if somehow Rob and Tiffany are traitors together, which I could see happening, I think they will do really, really well together as traitors because they have this strategy. They just know these games, Rob especially. If one of them is a traitor and one of them is a faithful, that is a more interesting dynamic to me because I would like to see who outsmarts the other. So I'm looking forward to see what Rob has. He hasn't been on a real reality show in a very, very long time, but he's still obviously very prominent in the competition reality world because of his podcast. And so I think he could be good as a faithful or a traitor. I have faith in him to be a good player either way. Rob from Love Island USA, Rob R, best known for the gif of him freaking out after Andrea got voted out on his season, and that vote kind of bringing Love Island USA to the height that it is now because of the drama from that vote out. Rob, however, is not always a dramatic person. He can be very dry. We see in the preview Maura asking him if they're going to work together, and he says maybe. And that is also kind of his sense of humor, but I don't think Rob knows what he's getting into here as a game player. But I think he could also be quite manipulative, which is something you learn to do on Love Island, and that could work in his favor whether he's a traitor or a faithful. Like I said earlier, I could see the Peacock wanting someone from Love Island to be a traitor. I don't know who would be better between he and Maura for TV. Will one of them even be one? I don't know. But I want to see what Rob brings. He hasn't been in the previews a lot, though, which has made me think he might be an early boot. Ron Funches is next, who I know my guy Devin in the comments is looking forward to most. Ron is an interesting fellow. He is a comedian. He is a big wrestling fan. He is someone that's going to be too nice for this game, though, I fear. Like, some of the previews I've seen for him has really made me think he is another person that doesn't know what he's getting into. He also answered the question that, would you like to win and be hated or lose and be loved? That was that type of question. And he chose the lose and be loved. So I don't want him to be a traitor. Ron needs to be a faithful, and I think he would thrive way better as a faithful than a traitor. I don't think he would be able to get the job done as a traitor, quite frankly, and I saw enough of that last season with Carolyn. Stephen Kleti from One Tree Hill, another random actor added to this cast. No idea what to expect. We saw Dylan Efron kind of grow into a better player as last season went along, but Dylan was also kind of Boston Rob's bitch for a lot of that season. So will Steven also be someone that watches a lot of reality TV and gets dragged along as like from the traitor, just making him their puppet? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. But I honestly have no idea what to expect from from Steven. Tara is next, though, Tara Lipinski. No idea what to expect from her either. As we said earlier, Tara and Johnny know each other very well, BFFs outside of the show. So they have that going for them. So that dynamic is something we have to watch if they are both faithful, because they're going to have each other's backs. But it's also something to watch if one of them is a traitor and the other one isn't, because they're going to try their best to drag the other one along further in the game. I'm running out of time here, so we're going to move on to Tiffany from Big Brother. A lot of people say Tiffany was robbed on Big Brother 23, and Tiffany was a good strategic player. Tiffany is a hot mess socially, and people don't talk about that enough anymore. It's just, Tiffany was robbed. She was such a great player. You can be a great strategic player and still kind of suck at the social game. Tiffany just talks too much. That is Tiffany's biggest weakness in a game from what I remember from Big Brother 23. If Tiffany is a traitor, she's going to have to do it in a way where she shuts the fuck up. Because if not, we're just going to see her be a mess like Dan. And that's not something I really want to see for her. I do think there's a very big chance that Tiffany will be a traitor, only because she was gung-ho in a pregame interview I saw about how badly she wants to be a traitor this season. So if they want to choose someone who is big on wanting to be a traitor and big on wanting to do the job, then Tiffany should be the obvious choice. So the big dynamic for me to watch is what's going to happen with Tiffany and Rob Cesternino, because clearly we see in the first few minutes of episode 1 that they are very big on wanting to play together in this season, and I think they're going to try. The dynamics could be muddled, though, if one of them is a traitor and one of them is not. Yam Yam is last, another Survivor winner, a more recent Survivor winner. So to me, if anyone knows Yam Yam is a winner and that Natalie is a winner, are they both going to be big targets, or will one make themselves a bigger target than the other? I think that's what we have to find out, because I do believe that Yam Yam, Natalie, Ian are going to be big targets early in the season if enough people in the game know that they won before. I just feel like that just adds these targets on their backs that they have to get out of. I think Yam Yam has a good enough social game to get out of it. I think it's possibly slightly better than Ian's. Natalie has a good social game when she wants to have a good social game. I don't know how they're going to come into this game as prior players from a different game, though. It's very interesting, though. You know, I always look forward to past players from Survivor and Big Brother and seeing how they adjust into this game. Will there be another Survivor alliance with Rob C, Yam Yam, Natalie? I have to think so. You add in Tiffany and Ian. I do think the CBS people always want to try and have each other's back. And, you know, there is no Boston Rob to try and ruin that this season. So they might all work together and they might all do well. So that's interesting to watch. Anyway, I got to get going. If you're still watching at this point in the video, I want an opinion in the comments about how I should review the first 3 episodes because they all drop Thursday night. I'm not going to be able to do my first review or record it until Friday. Should I just review the first episode and then review the second and third episode together later? Should I review the first 2 episodes and then review the third episode later, which is what I'm leaning towards doing? Or should I just wait until I'm able to watch all 3 episodes and then review? What would you all like me to do in the comments? Let me know.